These motherfuckers were so cocky that they live streamed themselves doing this shit because they thought that there would be no repercussions for it. Let's take a look, trigger warning, at Ted Cruz before we move on to some other subjects to cover, okay? We got a lot of fire lined up for the rest of the day. But before we do that, I do have to mention Ted Cruz time. Ted Cruz is very, very upset at what's going on, okay? Let's take a look.
News in Washington. The Democrats are this close to getting their climate change agenda passed, with senators up all night in the so-called vote-a-rama this morning, where senators are offering amendments to elements of Biden's Build Back Better agenda that have been stalled for a year. The Senate voted 51-50 last night to move this bill forward, with Vice President Kamala Harris deciding vote to pass a reconciliation package, which will increase taxes and raise $700 billion over 10 years, largely to pay for Obamacare subsidies and climate change new rules. Texas Senator Ted Cruz is on the Judiciary Committee. He voted against this bill, and he joins me now with the very latest. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Well, good morning, Maria. Good to be with you.
Can you tell us about the amendments and the happenings right now in the Senate? Will this bill pass?
Well, sure. We've been up all night, voting all night. We're still in the middle of voting, so I just ran over from the Senate floor to join you for this discussion.
Listen, motherfuckers, I already gave you the trigger warning. I don't want to hear it, okay? Yes, Ted Cruz, trigger warning, Ted Cruz, trigger warning, Ted Cruz.
Discussion, but the Democrats are on the verge of ramming through what really is a terrible bill. This bill will hammer manufacturing. It will kill manufacturing jobs in this country. It will hammer small businesses.
What?
This bill will drive up gas prices. It has billions in new taxes on you.
Wait, why would this drive up gas prices, dude? What the fuck? Ted Cruz using the greatest thing that you could use, which is, of course, just making shit up. Awesome.
U.S. oil and gas production. We introduced amendments trying to take those new taxes out. So all the Democrats say they're worried and want to lower gas prices. They all just voted to raise gas taxes and to raise your price at the pump. This bill creates 87,000 new IRS agents. It doubles the size of the IRS. Those IRS agents are designed to come after you. They're not designed to come after the billionaires and the big corporations. They're designed to come after small businesses and working families across this country. The Democrats are making the IRS bigger than the Pentagon, plus the Department of State, plus the FBI, plus the Border Patrol combined. The IRS is going to be bigger. This is a massive power grab. And I got to say, it's amazing, Maria, watching these Democrats amendment after amendment, common sense amendments, they vote against. I introduced an amendment to say don't create 87,000 new IRS agents. Every Democrat voted no. I just introduced an amendment to say that Joe Biden and the federal government should not be able to sell oil from our strategic petroleum reserve to the Chinese communists. Biden sold over 2 million barrels of oil to the Chinese communists. Every Democrat but 4 voted no. They are bound and determined to try to ram this terrible bill through.
I want to get your take on a so-called wraparound amendment. I know that there were also amendments to try to get the Democrats to acknowledge that there is a wide open border. Will any of those...
I love her so much. She's just like, it's kind of wild to consider how like Republicans will totally let go of their insanely misogynistic tendencies when it comes to some of the Republican commentators that are in positions of power. You know what I mean? On like, she has, I'm sorry, you know, you don't often see me shit on Vocal Fry or anything, and it's totally fine, but like, she is so unique. Like, her voice is so fucking unique that it is like, I don't know what it is. It just like penetrates my brain in a way that no other voice is able to do.
Amendments stick, and what about a wraparound amendment at the end of the day that deletes all the other amendments that you would try to get through?
Well, right now, it may be that the Democrats don't even need to force through a wraparound amendment because they've managed to keep their side. They've kept party discipline where all of even the supposed moderates have been willing to vote against common sense bills. For example, as I said, every single Democrat, all of them voted to increase gas taxes. So the next time you see a Mark Kelly in Arizona, or Raphael Warnock in Georgia, or a Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, or a Michael Bennet in Colorado, or Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada say, hey, we want gas prices to be lower, you know they are lying, because
called out some of the, not Raphael Warnock, but like some of the people that she called out are specifically like the moderate or people in like dangerous seats, I guess.
They stood up and voted, raise the gas taxes, stick it to the producers, make our consumers pay more at the pump. That's the end result they want, and their voting record proves it.
Well, it looks like they're going to be successful in this. And do you believe that taxes will go higher on most Americans? What about that promise that taxes would not be impacted for anybody making $400,000 or less?
Well, it's a flat-out lie. The Congressional Budget Office analyzed this bill, and it concluded a very large portion of it would be borne by people making under $400,000 a year, that just about every group of taxpayers would see their taxes go up. The Democrats know this, and by the way, we had amendments to say, let's not have any of these taxes fall on people making under $400,000. The Democrats all voted no. They are lying, and you know what they're counting on? They're counting on the corporate media just carrying their water for them and saying, oh, your taxes are not going up. It's not the truth.
Wow.
They know it's not the truth, but they expect the corporate media not to tell people. So unless they're watching your show or a handful of others, they're not hearing what's actually in this terrible bill.
That is absolutely extraordinary. I want to turn to the FBI and your committee's testimony with Christopher Wray testifying in front of your committee. Let's run this clip. I want you to explain it. Watch this.
The FBI agents were disciplined or reprimanded after that disastrous case and the misconduct that led to every defendant being acquitted or having a mistrial on every charge?
Senator, I can't comment on a personnel matter. I can tell you that.
I mean, dude, every media branch operates this way, by the way. Like, it's just not even people going, oh man, Fox News or whatever, but like every branch of the media is exactly like this. It's just like they just let you fucking lie, very little pushback, and then they turn around and go, all right, let's pull up a clip where you're looking like a fucking big dick badass.
That case, as I understand it, is now pending a retrial, as I understand it.
Well, the special agent in charge of that case has now been sent to D.C., to the Washington, D.C. office, and now leads the investigation regarding January 6th. Is that correct?
Kamala Hassan, this is egregious. Yeah, no shit. Okay, I agree that MSNBC does this too, but Kamala Hassan, this is egregious. Yeah, no shit, it's egregious. It's disgusting. I mean, put them in a fucking spaceship with Elon Musk on a rocket journey to the sun, okay? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I agree. They suck.
That doesn't sound right to me.
So the guy in charge got promoted and is now in charge of the January 6th investigation.
The guy in charge of the whole Detroit field office is now in charge of the whole Washington field office.
That is astonishing.
Senator, what were you saying there? What did the FBI do in terms of the Gretchen Whitmer situation in Michigan? Was that entrapment?
It was. Look, unfortunately, one of the worst outcomes we've seen, both from the Barack Obama administration and now the Joe Biden administration, has been the deep politicization and weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI. They've turned the machinery of government and law enforcement into a weapon to attack their political enemies. And in the case of Gretchen Whitmer, we all remember in the fall of 2020, right before the presidential election, big announcement that they were prosecuting people involved in a plot to kidnap and murder the Democratic governor of Michigan.
Okay, so here's the thing. The FBI did what they always do with the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, right? They like literally personally designed a kidnapping plot, found a bunch of dumbass patsies that will go along with it, and of course it fucking fell apart. Most leftists who are at least somewhat critical of the FBI and its practices immediately were like, yeah, that's bullshit. Okay, I said it. I was like, this is fucking silly. This is some silly Billy shit, right? A lot of people at the time got mad at me for saying that. Now, having said that, however, and there might be a little bit of FBI involvement in the January 6th stuff too, but ultimately, motherfuckers did go into the Capitol. Okay, so The fuck do you mean? That's what Alex Jones says? Yes, my friend. I know Alex Jones says that. Except Alex Jones never says that about Muslims, which is surprising, right? Because most of the fucking terror plots that were thwarted by the FBI under the Obama administration, for example, were conducted by the FBI themselves, where they found like fucking autistic Muslim teenagers who they personally, openly in their own communications made fun of, and were like, wow, that guy is R-worded. He couldn't even find his ass to wipe it if he doesn't even have that capability. Whereas like simultaneously they were like, oh, we found a really bad terrorist guy that we luckily stopped from doing a terror plot. Okay? That's true, by the way. Straight up. Everything I just mentioned. Now, they would use beautiful women to message them out of the blue, at least in 2 local cases. Fucked up. However, there is, of course, actual dumbasses who are trying to do that, even without the FBI's involvement, okay? It's a matter of entrapment versus just, is there enough push there? Or is there enough enthusiasm across the board and the FBI is like just kind of there alongside the process? And when it comes down to it, I think the January 6th insurrection is a little bit more on the other side. The Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping was certainly more FBI involvement and less the own personal interests of these fucking idiots. But January 6th, on the other hand, still FBI involvement, but FBI involvement, if you were to look at both the FBI involvement and genuine enthusiasm to do insurrection, I would say genuine enthusiasm to do insurrection was certainly top of mind, top priority. So the idea that Ted Cruz is like using one instance of the FBI being fucking bad and doing classic FBI shit, and to defend wine moms and HVAC business owners that fucking travel from Arkansas to DC to go and like try to kill Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence or whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a difference there. These motherfuckers were so cocky that they live streamed themselves doing this shit because they thought that there would be no repercussions for it. How are you going to sit here and be like, oh, the FBI did that? It's like, no, motherfucker, they did that because they knew nothing would come of it.